Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Four Corners Legacy Podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Diesel the Locomotive, and
And I'm your host, Valley Uno.
And I'm also your host, Tusaf Shakur.
And I'm also your host, Miss Mai Mai. Welcome to Four Corners Legacy Podcast. We're glad to be back.
Yes, beautiful
Welcome
thing.
back, everybody.
all right.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Afternoon.
It's afternoon for us.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's the afternoon. Yes. Well,
You're still on Cali
West
time.
Coast.
So.
yes. Let me go ahead and put on my specs on because I can't see without them. Turn into my old lady.
Granny Goose.
Hey.
Yeah. So not really sure. Everybody's dealing with this cold front in the southern part of the United States.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was kind of slick out there this morning when I had to take Sophia to work going, and then on the way back, had a little bit of sliding in each direction. So, but I was going slow because I was already anticipating it, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I woke up to snow. So it's snow. It's snowing where I'm at.
We got a little bit of fog, but that's about it, right? I mean, yes, of course it's cold.
Yeah, we just been getting light snow. I don't know. It might come down the hill because it snowed for real in Charlotte. So who knows what the rest of the day might bring.
Right.
So I think it's only fair if we kind of like do a reintroduction because this is our third season going in, but for some, it may be the first time that they ever watched the show. So just a little backstory to it. Four Corners Legacy is a podcast with four siblings, and we just like to give our perspective. It all started by us doing video calls with each other, and we would just find ourselves having real deep conversations about everything, ranging from family to current affairs to life events to our perspective on various different topics. And we realized that we had a lot to say and that we should share it with y'all. So that's how the show came about. So for those of you who are new to joining us, welcome. We appreciate. We hope that we drop a gem or two that you guys will be able to use in your day-to-day lives.
Thank you,
Most
JB
definitely.
World, for joining us today. I hope my daughters jump on.
Oh, they'll probably fall in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm sure y'all seen it. The stuff that's been going on with them ICE agents out in Minneapolis or whatever.
Yeah, they foul.
They currently got 2 bodies under their belt. Did knock down another dude out there who was on like the same kind of thing as the other lady, like an anti-ICE protest, something along those lines. And the ICE agents was kind of roughing up somebody, and he intervened, and ultimately he wound up getting killed. Now there's been a whole lot of people had a whole lot of viewpoints and ideas about it. Obviously, it's unfortunate if anybody got to end a situation with losing their life. That's unfortunate, but I also think that it's very important. It's a reminder of how important it is to make sure that you make good decisions with what it is you're going to stand for or rally for. You know what I mean? Have a good understanding of what it is you up against, because it could be your life that you're gambling with.
Right.
Well,
And we live in a time where people try to put that solely in the hands of the other person. And I just feel like that's a big mistake.
Well, it's definitely a big mistake for those who lost their life. I mean, you may think that you're standing for something, but you got to be asking yourself, are you willing to die for it? It's one thing to stand for something. It's one thing to let your position be known, but it's a whole nother thing to be willing to die for something. You know, I think that the situation is intense, and I don't agree with the ICE agents and what their mission and motive is. But will I want to go out there and protest and lose my life behind it? No, I don't want to.
No, yeah, and I think that's how I look at it.
Right. And then for it to not even be any immigrants losing their life is crazy.
Right. That's the part. So yeah, that's a big deal. Those are big things. We received, and for those that don't know, I'm in the hospitality field. Some situations had occurred where ICE agents had went to check into hotels in the location where they were going to do what they do, and they were denied service. Well, a memo went out across my company to remind us that we are not able to deny. We don't have the right to refuse service. So if they did decide to come and stay at our hotel to do the business that they do, we are not able to turn them away.
That's ICE agents?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Of course.
This is a revenue generated business, so they're not gonna turn no money away.
Nah.
Well, this is just my opinion. I mean, it ain't really no fact to stand behind this. It's just the assessment I made in my mind. I think that this whole ICE situation is probably as close to the declaration of martial law that we've ever experienced in our lifetime. Because if you just look at how they operating, it kind of seems like that. They're doing whatever, they're not playing by any sort of rules, and they're operating with impunity. You know what I mean? So that's what I meant when I said people really got to be careful what they standing up against.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because they don't care about your life, basically.
Well, that's the thing. Law enforcement in general is taught to not give two fucks about our lives.
Right. That's the crazy part. And also you got to look at the bigger picture, and that's, who is the one who's sending out these ICE agents? Who is actually in charge, our quote unquote president that
obviously it goes high up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's sending them with that whole mindset. We got a couple of things going on in the chat right now. That's what DT wants to do, start martial law. Absolutely.
It's and that's kind of why I said what I said. I think, to me, this looks like a test run.
Yeah. Well, and if you guys had caught that, he twisted the whole story and said that the ICE agent that shot the lady, that he was ran over and experienced internal bleeding. So they're willing to twist the story to their advantage
all the way.
Yeah, I mean that was crazy.
Okay, so just quickly, what I heard that the lady got killed, but I didn't hear the circumstances involving it.
So basically, she was in her vehicle, and they were trying to tell her, "Get out of your vehicle, get out of your vehicle," and she was like, "No," and she backed up and went to drive off, and he just fired shots straight.
Oh wow!
And killed her,
blasted her.
Well, it was a little bit more than that to it, though.
I think the backstory, she was. Go ahead. She
Valerie. She was another member of one of them anti-ICE groups.
Okay.
And her whole approach or purpose to being there was to kind of impede or interrupt whatever it was they were doing. There was video footage of her car being parked, across the street, not running parallel with the street, but crossways on the street, trying to stop the flow of traffic that was going through prior to the ICE agents even pulling up. So that's why when they pulled up, they immediately was like, get up out the car. And when she dipped off, from one camera angle, it does look like she clipped him in his leg. But the reason why I say that don't matter is
you're not supposed to be running in front of no car.
No, before she even put the car in drive, he had already drew down on her.
Yeah.
And
damn.
Yeah, if you place yourself in front of a vehicle, then you're kind of creating the circumstances.
And that's what I was saying a few minutes ago, that people leave it up to the next motherfucker like that. It's like, don't jump in front of my car and make me run your dumb ass over.
That's true. That is
You
true.
know, she was a mother. She left behind, I think, 2 kids and a husband. The dude that just got killed, he was a nurse of some sort or a doctor or something like that. But he took care of veterans, okay, that had been wounded or sick or whatever shit like that. You know what I mean? So, it ain't my place to tell somebody what should or shouldn't be important, but I just feel like whatever impact he was making in his medical career is certainly going to be missed.
Of
Right.
course, of course. We have to remember that everybody has somebody that loves them. Your bum on the street has somebody that loves them.
Right.
They have
Yeah.
family, you know, so everybody has somebody that loves them. So everyone is going to be missed. They're going to have somebody who misses them, and certainly you don't want to die in the line of fire for a situation like that. It just seems senseless. It doesn't make any sense. So I think the moral to the story of what you were saying is to be mindful of what you're standing up for, because you may be standing up for your truth, but you have to be willing to, are you willing to die for it is the question, because the people who you're standing up against have no moral compass and they'll take you out.
Right.
Well,
Right.
that's what it's all about, is to let people know your resistance will be met by killing you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's where we enter this Hunger Games phase. That's where we enter this divergent phase and all this quadrants of people, the broke people over here and sectioned off and caged in. You ain't getting to the rich neighborhood.
Right. It's
And
definitely
if
the
you
setup.
try to get in, okay, they've given you a demonstration of what you're going to have to contend with.
Horrible. Horrible. My condolences to the families of those who lost loved ones out there, and on the backside of that, for things that we don't see, you know, it was mentioned, like, there are actual immigrants that are dying when they are placed into these camps that they go to, and they're not treated well. So if this is what they're doing on the streets, we can only imagine what they're doing to the people who they actually have captured.
A friend of mine.
We like to dehumanize people. If they don't fit into the mold we want them to, then we tend to ostracize people and you know, give them a bad time for being, you know, hey, the immigrants, they really just want a better life at the end of the day.
Right. A friend of mine who I used to work with, she's Mexican American, and she said, you know, she's scared. Her family's scared.
Yeah, because they ain't playing.
Right.
But you know, I just if they're doing that to Mexicans, what are they about? What is their plan for blacks?
Well, I don't think
here's the thing. We were born over here. They ain't deporting us no motherfucking where, and I will die over that shit.
No, and I agree with you 100%. You know, there's certain things, that's why I meant you got to be able to make a choice of what you will stand and fight for. And if it's about your own life and whatever it is you stand for, I can respect that. But just to go be protesting and you leaving people that need you behind, it's hard for me to really respect that.
Right.
Well, all I know is it's getting to the point to what's that movie where you had to go into your house at 7:00.
The Purge.
The Purge, yeah. It's gonna turn into the Purge.
I mean, it kind of already is. The only difference is everybody's being held accountable for their actions versus how the Purge, nobody was being held accountable.
Yeah. Well, and I think that the wrong people are not being held accountable. You know what I mean? I don't think that ICE agents, I think they're being given free run of how they want to do this thing right now. And I don't think that that's fair. Of course, I agree with you with your statement with law enforcement already being trained up in that way, you know, in that mindset. But this specific team of agents has they don't have no rules. It's do whatever they want to do. You know,
Obviously.
That's because they've been told by Donald Trump that no
Right.
matter what they do, they're getting pardoned for it.
right.
Oh,
That's
the
crazy.
only thing they're learned how to do is shoot the gun and make sure you hit your target.
Mhm.
Well, that's been well accomplished. That's been well accomplished.
Yeah, and I don't even really think that was something that they needed to learn.
No,
No, no,
they already had that. Yeah.
they've been in class for years now. It's a shame. It really is.
Okay,
Go on
so
to
what,
better, bigger,
what
bigger
else
and
we
better
got?
things.
Let's switch topics.
Yes. We might as well go on and get into our show today.
All right. So the topic for today is about self, and how to become the best version of yourself. We all strive to make our accomplishments in life. We all set goals, but there are always things that are going to hinder you from actually achieving your goals. So we just want to drop some ideas or just bounce off of each other, different ways to stay focused and how to get in tune with your authentic self.
Yes.
And, it's more than in tune. You got to be self-aware.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt.
Yes.
Without a
You
doubt.
have to be, it's not selfish, but you have to be find yourself. You know, you have to go inward, you know, and trust yourself, you know.
You
When
definitely
abandon
have to
yourself,
go inward.
you lose your ability to create within your own dreams. Okay.
Right. You got people that can't even draw a picture because they haven't took the time to figure out what they were even capable of, whether they had an artistic side, whether they were musical or anything for that matter. People don't even know because they don't have any originality anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what are some key things that you think though to help people start realizing and be able to hone in on those type of things? Like, should you just start trying all kinds of stuff, you know, see what you are good at, or what, how does a person who never had somebody to like point them in the direction, like you can be in whatever you want, like how we were raised up. What if somebody doesn't have that kind of mindset? What would you tell that person? Where would they start?
I would have to say that yes, you should do a little bit of exploring, but if you're looking for something to do something that's meaningful to you and people who find whatever that job is meaningful, then you would want to do something that you're somewhat passionate about or have some kind of love for or some desires or, you know, something that you enjoy doing. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing.
Correct.
You got to be, you know, be in tune to yourself. You have to trust your judgment. You have to rebuild your internal. Okay. You have to not be want someone else's validation on what you believe in. If you
right.
believe
If you tell a motherfucker you're gonna be a NASCAR driver, I don't give a fuck if they believe me or not. I'm gonna go drive this NASCAR.
Right.
Right.
You have to feed that into yourself. And in order for other people to believe in you, you have to first believe in yourself. That's
right.
The number one thing.
You got to stop being a slave to validation from others and be the master of your own life. Okay. And
it's
that's
just
what
like not to cut you off. Go ahead, finish.
You know when I be saying
stop.
something.
Okay. So like it's just crazy because like you know, like you want to do shit like you don't, like I said, it's not about being selfish. It's just about finding a way to do the things you enjoy doing and actually leave a mark in that shit, because this is the only life you get. And most likely most of us talking right now, or most of us living right now, the majority of us won't be remembered 100 years from now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or let alone 200-300 years, like we're talking about people like Julius Caesar and King Tut and people like that. They're not going to be talking about us like that unless we make some kind of mark.
Right. Well, and so, you know, one of the things about our show is called Four Corners Legacy. We are a product of our mom, right? So we are part of her legacy. So I think that part of the self-awareness is how do you want to impact your legacy? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? So maybe I might not be remembered by the masses for my impact to society, but as long as my family is impacted by my life and inspired by my life, then I feel like I have left a mark. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's what you call planting the seed that will spark change.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think like when you asked about what are the key points, something people can do, to me, it starts with, do you give a damn? Because the reality is there's a lot of people that go through the world just according to the program that's been prescribed to us. You know what I mean? And I don't think this conversation is for them. It's for people that are already understanding that, hey, I exist. I'm something, I'm someone, you know. How do I get in tune with that to increase my awareness with who I am and how I impact the people or the environments around me versus what the general public does is they go out and they let the people and the environment around them impact them. And it's all intake and no output. So in order to be self-aware, you got to be focused on who you are, how you feel, what you think, what your convictions are, and how you can use that to impact your environment or the people around you, you know, and that takes on various different looks, whether it be artistically or if you're somebody who is good with public speaking or whatever, you know. Each individual got to find their niche, but it starts with, do you give a damn enough to make an impact on the people and the environment around you?
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, you know, it's a daily thing. Every day you have to examine your behaviors, your thoughts, your emotions, the results,
your flaws, your flaws,
Yes.
Your shortcomings, everything. You have to examine all that because you might not be good at golf, but that doesn't mean that you can't get good at golf. You might not be good at organizing stuff, but if you try to organize and discipline yourself over time, you might become actually good at organizing stuff. Or
that's a valid point. I love that too, because sometimes you might not just have that in you, but if you do something repeatedly, then you're going to get better at it. So yeah, I think
practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Every day you have to say, what am I today? What do I stand for? What am I trying to build up to? What's my purpose? If you say that every day,
what can I do today to get me a step closer?
Exactly.
Right. So I had got an affirmation and I'm going to share it. It says, today I awaken with peace in my spirit and confidence in my path. I'm grateful for a new day filled with purpose, light, and opportunity. I trust that everything meant for me flows effortlessly into my life. I walk in faith, love, and divine alignment. Those are the things that, you know, reading those kind of affirmations or hearing those type of things, reinforcing to self, hey, I can do this. Everything that I'm supposed to have is flowing in my life, and understand that you're walking in purpose just by waking up and being mindful of this. You're already in your purpose when you put it in your mind, right? And then you are able to seize the opportunities that come your way. So I just think that people could use affirmations to assist them with each day, reminding them of who they are and what they want out of life, you know, to pouring something positive into your spirit.
Right.
I think that's the most important thing about having a sense of self-awareness, because I think that all of us, how can I say this? So when I think of affirmations or when I lean to stuff like that, it's usually when I'm out of balance internally and I need something to give me a reminder. But as far as manifestation goes, the most powerful affirmation you could ever make are the ones that come from within, because now you are directly aligning yourself with the frequency that's going to carry you to the reality that you're looking for. You see what I mean? So affirmations that come from outside, they might serve as reminders to us that we need to make our own affirmations. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's the first thing I thought was my own affirmation when she was reading that. That's the first thing I thought was self-affirmation.
And from
Mhm.
the affirmation, it's the action. You can't have the affirmation without action. The action is what gets it going. You have to follow through with what you said you're going to do, even if it's just said, "I'm gonna walk down the street and go here." That's following through with something that you said you can do.
Right.
So it's about following through with what you say you're going to do, and quit being a procrastinator on everything in life. And I have fallen short from that
Right. Yeah,
myself.
right. That's the
Being a
most important thing, what you're saying right there.
Yeah.
You can't put shit off until tomorrow because we don't even fucking know if we're gonna wake up.
Right,
tomorrow.
right.
Right.
Who told you was going to be here tomorrow?
Right.
Who the
There's no
fuck told you
guarantee.
you're gonna wake up tomorrow?
And you gotta get rid of the clutter that's in your mind, because the mind is a powerful thing. Okay. And you got to get rid of the clutter that's up in your head. You got
And
to.
then if you don't jump at it, you're gonna see a bunch of people. Here's what happens if you decide, oh, I wanted to do this and I wanted to open up a food truck, and then you say, fuck it. Nah, I don't know. I'm scared about the books and keeping the accountant part of it and taxes and the IRS or this and this. So I don't know if I should do it. All that's going to happen is you're going to see motherfuckers opening up food trucks that probably ain't even as good as the shit as you would have been. You're going to see them doing everything that you know that you could have did if you didn't have fear to do the shit.
That's for real.
Correct.
That's for real.
You definitely got to remove the fear. So I'm just thinking more about what you guys were saying about the affirmations from within, and that's kind of the flip side of that. So like if you're affirming with yourself, like, oh, all the things that could go wrong, you're preventing yourself from actually doing all the things that could go. You won't see all the things that can go right. So if your mind is steady on the negative side of things, you're not going to be able to be active in it because you're constantly manifesting something going wrong.
You're self-sabotaging yourself.
Yeah.
Because we're the architects of our own reality. We can either build, an extravagant structure, or we can compile a fucking pile of rubble, you know what I mean, depending on our mindset. But at the end of the day, we lay the bricks of our own reality. So you're absolutely right. If our mind is focused on negative, or going without or not having this instead of being focused on positivity and abundance, then you're gonna reap what you sow. You know what I mean? Right. So it's very important to have the proper mindset when you step out into the world.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's very, very important. Is stop using your energy to worry. Use your energy to believe, create, love, grow, manifest, and heal. That's what you got to use your energy for. So it's too easy to place doubt. And
then it's almost asinine at the same time, because like we just said a few minutes ago, you don't even fucking know if you're going to be around tomorrow.
Correct.
So you got to look forward and be bold when you do it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be bold. You know what, man?
Okay, Shay, I see you, girl. Energy flows where attention goes. Okay.
Yes, it does.
Where's your attention going? As you put your attention on the negative things that can happen, or you can put your attention on the positive things that happen. Right. I love that statement.
I'm probably the only motherfucker in this country that don't give a fuck about Donald Trump being president.
No, you ain't the only one.
I'm probably the only motherfucker in the United States.
It ain't nothing we can do about it.
Right.
What's the point?
Yeah, those are conversations I never have. If I see somebody in the store, hey man, this guy Trump doing this, what do you think about this? I don't give a shit, bruh.
Okay.
I don't give a shit about none of that.
So that comment from Shay, I don't know if y'all knew about this prior, but I was having a conversation with Auntie D not very long ago, and she was saying that this was something that her, Nana, and all them were told coming up, you know, where your attention goes, energy flows. And I was like, huh, I don't know if I just didn't pay attention previously, but that was new to me when I heard it. So that's why when I seen that, I was like, we got to throw that up there, because I thought it was a gem when she said it to me.
Right. And maybe I couldn't see some of the other comments because my screen wasn't going. So I think that's great. I'm glad that you grabbed that, because that's important. That's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And a very good point.
And furthermore, might be slightly off topic. I'm not supporting anybody's businesses because their skin is black.
That is very much off topic.
So look, sorry. Hold on. I just have to explain. 2026 is gonna go very motherfucking differently. Very.
Okay.
No, I feel you on that. I don't think support is something that we're obligated to with anybody. Like, can I decide whether or not I even fuck with what you offering before I just support? I might not even be interested in it.
Right.
You
I don't
know
give
what I
a
mean?
fuck about your Rap Snacks. Master P, they got 67 brands of barbecue chips already. So I gotta go buy them from a nigga for them to be good.
Oh God.
hey, what I will say though is them Rap Snacks go in though.
They do go in.
It don't matter who put them out.
Instead of like JJ said, I like, or who said, I like Good Times. Eddie Murphy, I like Good Times. I like Rap Snacks.
Right. But hey, look, but one thing's for certain. Them Rap Snacks, they're gonna give you cancer that Lay's ain't.
No. As good as they taste, you most certainly finna get diabetes.
I think the moral to what you're saying though is that sometimes we, you know, a lot of direction was pushed into buy black, and so, you know, I get what you're saying when you're saying I don't feel obligated just because someone is of the same a nationality as me that I have to support their business, because they may be full of shit too, is what you're actually saying.
I might not even like
I get
you.
that. And sometimes sometimes we find when we purchase from our people, things may not even be of the quality that we would expect. You know, are we holding them to a higher echelon than other people? Possibly.
No. I disagree with that. We're not holding them. We're actually not holding them to a high enough echelon.
Okay.
Because we're saying that we want to pay $50 for some food in a styrofoam plate with a spoonful. I'm a big ass nigga. I ain't never gonna be small. My plate got to be a man's fucking plate. You can't give me the spoonful of cobbler mixed with yams. Guess what I'm gonna do with the yams? Throw them motherfuckers in the trash. I don't eat that shit.
Okay. Back to what we were talking about. I put in the comments, change your mindset. Okay. Turn your pain into power, your motivation. All right. And
hold on, go back to the other comment though, because I think the other comment was of importance too.
What's that?
Hold on.
We had a comment
small bit. I think small business is.
No,
that one right here.
Go back to the one that was up first.
Right. So we got a comment from Khalil, and he says, "Love to support our people, but we're not required to blindly support if the quality isn't here." And I think that was just the bottom.
That's what the bottom line is. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the bottom.
I think there's some truth here, though.
I think small businesses, black or not, are held to a higher standard than bigger businesses, and that's what I was
true. That's true.
The reason,
because Walmart gets to sell you the knockoff everything.
But the reason why they're held to a higher standard, what I think, is it goes back to, people are making comparisons like, you running a business? Let me see if you got this, that, and the other, where you're not even scrutinizing some big company like that. You know what I mean? It's almost like
you're not going to Kellogg's
unconscious hating or something. Like you're unconsciously hating on the small business. You know, you see, they got this, that, and the other, and you ain't doing none of that when you go to some other place, though.
Right. You're not going to go into Applebee's and tell them that they need to change their whole menu to fit your liking.
Supporting a business doesn't always mean buying from the business. Supporting the business also could be word of mouth, saying this business da 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 da. Or you could
Right,
go.
but why am I recommending something that I don't know and support? So that would be kind of hard for me to do. But I'm going to give an example. So one of my daughters had a bald tire. She went to.
She said because the owners are most accessible in small businesses.
So she went to a place to get a tire that was Black owned. Okay, so she's like, oh, he's like, oh, let me help you. I'm gonna get. And he put another, basically, because she wasn't knowledgeable of the thread of the tire, he gave her another tire that ended up blowing out and could have killed my daughter. So it's like, just because we're supporting our people don't mean they're actually supporting us. There are some hook slide people out there who are just trying to make a coin.
Absolutely.
It goes back to what Valley Uno said. I ain't letting no black man. I'm not ever gonna go skydiving with a black skydiving company.
What's the back on
we ain't for the back to shoot, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be safe
we
to
can
say
ask the
we
fool
might not
and
be
talk to
experts
crazy
into that
people, okay?
business. That's all.
Back to the matter at hand, which is self-focus. Okay. And
Yeah.
we have to get
most
out of
definitely.
our mindset, the behaviors that we have had in the past, because those behaviors are negative. Because if they were positive, we would be further in life. So we have to get out of our mindset. We have to start with being more positive. Positivity is everything. If you give power to anything negative, you're giving it food, basically, and it is allowing it to start its manifestation. So we have to stay positive, even when you feel something, feel negativity. Try to offset it with something positive. When you feel like you have, I'm always told all the time, smile. Why are you having a frown on your face? Smile. That's positive right there. Telling someone something good is positive.
But if you're positive, it seems like if you're positive nowadays, people almost get irritated by that shit.
I do. Because if you tell me what's wrong with you, you don't have a smile on your face. I am not the lead actor in a fucking Orbitz commercial. This is the way my face looks. Don't be so sensitive. I shouldn't have to smile to make you comfortable. This is how my genetic profile comes across. I don't have to smile for you. If you want to see whether or not I'm positive, how about you start a conversation that isn't already beginning with you fucking criticizing the way I look?
Exactly.
I agree with that.
If you want to see me smile, walk up and say, "Man, you got a great smile." Say that, and then you might see a smile.
Yeah, because I always get that. Is it that bad? Why aren't you? Damn, you don't even know what's on my mind. This is
absolutely. That's what I was gonna say.
How I look. And
that all goes back to.
Let's not interrupt, sister. Some people have resting bitch face. Some people or they just don't have
positivity.
I like that. Hey, look, I ain't never heard of it, but I like that.
There's a thing called toxic positivity. We need more details.
It rhymes with it rhymes with toxic masculinity. So we might as well throw toxic femininity and toxic ignorancy in.
Oh shit.
Okay.
But you know what though? I think that there's some truth to that, because when I was hearing Kasavi talk about being positive, I think in order to truly be positive, we have to also be honest with ourselves. But you gotta take care when you do that, because when you're making that honest evaluation of yourself, you want to avoid saying things like, damn, I'm a procrastinator, or I'm full of shit because I didn't do this, or I'm bad, or you know what I mean? Because soon as you say I am, that's one of those bricks that you're laying in the architecture of your own reality. So
correct.
You have to be honest with yourself, but you still have to be careful with your word choice.
Right.
Yes.
So sometimes people, in order to get to the next level, you got to heal some traumas that you have went through in order, to get to that point where you're able to say, I am smart, I am kind, I am these things. You have to heal something. I am. So
what's up to the chat? I see we got Unfaded in here, and she threw a comment up. And shout out to JB's World. You keeping it rocking. We appreciate you.
Yes, JB's World wants to elaborate on the toxic positivity.
Okay.
So toxic positivity is the excessive and compulsive emphasis on positive thinking, which leads to the denial, invalidation, or suppression of genuine negative emotions of human experiences.
Now, can somebody without a college education?
I love that, girl.
Hey, I think that's what I was trying to get at when I was saying what I was saying about the honesty part. Like, you have to be honest, and the reality is that sometimes you don't feel great. Sometimes you don't feel powerful, but understanding that that's the normal human experience, it's okay. And don't beat yourself down about it by saying I am or I am not, because there's so much power in that statement. As soon as you get to talk about I am, whatever comes after that is the beginning of the manifestation for your next day, week, who knows how long. So we just have
that's
to be
why
really
you have to
how we talk to ourselves.
You have to cleanse your mind. You have to remind yourself that you were created out of joy, that you are a joy. You are you have to tell yourself every day that I am somebody. You know, I am somebody.
I'm a product of a hot, stormy night.
No, you have to affirm the power of your subconscious mind. You gotta, your subconscious mind is what rules you, really. You know, you have to realign your subconscious mind. You got to.
The subconscious mind
works the power of the
belief, controlling it.
Huh?
The subconscious mind kind of, you don't necessarily control that.
You do, because you feed it. You feed it. And that's why I was saying about the things we say to ourselves, whether we say it out loud or even internally, because what we say to ourselves or what we accept as fact, truth, whatever, then the subconscious mind absorbs that and does not question it. So if you do like Kanye West said, I just told you who I thought I was, a god. Your subconscious mind doesn't question the validity of that.
Right.
According to what you said.
Because he damn sure thought he was God.
He probably his heart. You know?
But here's the underlying statement, though. We are all gods. You know what I mean? We are all kings and queens. We are all
truthfully,
these things.
E40's a god in Vallejo, and then Rap Scene in Vallejo. Too Short's a god of Oakland, or
you have to embrace and embody the truth of who you are. You know, you have to tell yourself, this is who I am. And until you do, you'll be suffering because the brain is going to be counteracting that. But if you continue to feed it, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's going, but you can. You have to keep telling you have to change your mindset. You have to identify your purpose.
I think what's driving me is what I said earlier. I see motherfuckers that ain't half of what I am doing shit that I know I want to do. And that's what's going to push me past because I'm like, I'll be damned if a motherfucker who ain't even as passionate as me or as good, you know, and they're still doing the shit you want to do. It kind of, it just is, it's like, hey, I got to change something.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I said it could be a wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. So that's one of the other things that the notes that I had taken. I was saying that healing is hard, and it's an emotional battle within yourself, and that you need to pull back the complex layers of whatever caused the PTSD and the emotional trauma that altered your personality. You got to redefine a new version of you and rewire your brain chemistry.
What she's saying on the bottom, though, whew, that's a big deal right there. Because it's the programming. It really is.
I'm gonna slap everybody. I'm sorry.
Who posted that up there if they didn't want me to comment on the motherfucking comment? Unpost the comment. Hold on. Wait a second. Let me turn that on.
She didn't want you to comment on it while she was talking. That's all.
No comments gone.
No, the comment needs to be back up there because it has its importance. But the bottom line I was almost done saying is you have to rewire your brain chemistry to a version of yourself before whatever trauma made you not believe in yourself, is what I was saying. Like, something has to happen to you in your life to where you start second guessing who you really are. And so when that happens, you got to rewire yourself. You have to go before where the trauma started and find that part of yourself. Like me and Tavon, we also often talk about your inner child. Maybe you have to go back to that part that was fun. And as a kid, we weren't scared to take risks. We just did whatever we needed to do. We just ran through the creek. We would touch a frog. We didn't have a fear. So you have to get your mindset back to that state where you don't have fear of failure and you're able to actually succeed, because you have told yourself, you removed all those things that the trauma put in your way to block you from being able to be your best version of yourself. And so I think it connects to what she's saying in the comment. It's about programming. The things we listen to and watch can be programming. So
and sometimes what we listen to and watch doesn't necessarily have to be on the television. It can be what we listen to in our family dynamic, in our home or upbringing, what we watch in our home and upbringing by the parents or other adults, family members in front of us. All of it is programming our psyche. You know what I mean? And I think for me personally, the healing part comes down to just acceptance. Whoever created the ideology that life was such a bowl of cherries, they were either full of shit or they lied, because it's not. And we just have to accept whatever comes with it, knowing that this is a part of the journey.
Right.
Well,
So tomorrow, if somebody gets killed tomorrow,
people make decisions basically from their old beliefs, from their parents' beliefs, from their family's beliefs. That's how decisions start. People's decisions start usually from their parents or whoever that's in their life. You have to change. They're not always, their beliefs are not always right.
But what if they was dead wrong though?
Exactly. That's what she said. That's the part. So where you first got that thought from, it was entered in your mind. Some of the ways people believe or the thought processes about themselves, like you might have a kid whose parents tell them, you ain't never going to be shit. So then they, in their mind, when they go into they're like,
they're going to feel like they're never going to be shit.
Well, that usually has an opposite effect, but I get what you're saying.
It can go either way, for sure. Yeah.
Go either way.
And like I said, you have to, it's a daily self-audit system that you have to do every day. You have to do it every day to make sure that you're staying on the course. And I said it again, you have to examine your own behaviors, thoughts, and emotions. The results work towards the change of who you want to become or who you're supposed to be. Okay. What am I at? What am I today? What do I stand for? And what am I building to? What is my purpose? That's the whole thing. Who am I? Who is Kasavi? She's a cold motherfucker when she want to be, okay? And sometimes, but then I on that same note, I'll be like, but bitch, you ain't cold right now. But so by saying that, I'm drowning. I've just killed that whole power that I said before that, and that's what people
you can cancel it out.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
What up, Woon? We see you.
You got to quit canceling yourself out, because we are remarkable people in our own right. Everyone is remarkable in their own.
Absolutely.
You have your own body.
This is your time. That's the thing. You're only going to be here for this amount of time that you live.
When you start,
whatever you take with you, whatever you leave behind, that's why it's important to find some sort of purpose, because once you die, if you had no purpose, everybody's going to fucking know.
When you start your day,
right, and you don't want to be remembered for somebody saying, "Oh, you had so much potential." You know what I mean? Oh, she
never figured it out, but he had so much potential.
Right.
When you start your day, defining who you are, taking control of your identity, learning awareness of acting in alignment to who you said you were this morning. Every hour on the hour, choices that build the person I want to become, erases patterns. It's called course correction. Okay. Course correction. You have to follow through with everything that you said that you were going to do on that. For that, every day is a day to getting the next level, to where you want to be. It's not going to happen the next day. Everything's going to be right. It's going to be gradual steps. You have to follow through. You got to keep seeing the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture? So if I continue to do this, then this will change this part that's not right. And if I continue to do this, it will change this part that's not right, which will lead me to this that is right, that I want to be doing. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? It's the power of critical thinking. It's all about going inwards and
this is all like, I've been in prison. I've been forced to be inward. I ain't running from all this shit. This has been my life for a long time. I ain't been able to
that right there. But that right there, Diesel. Yes, you've been in prison, and we know.
I'm saying I ain't been able to run from nothing. I've had to sit there and deal with it.
You're missing the point. All you heard was
she's saying that, but by reliving the prison part, it's still giving that.
I ain't reliving shit.
I think y'all only heard I've been in prison. The point he was making is he was forced to have to practice
all this affirmation shit and all that shit. I wouldn't have made it to the release date if I wasn't fucking listen to. Do you know what I'm saying? That was my point. Okay, so
how do you apply those things that you already trained your mind to know? How do you stem that into action then?
It's like you said, it's just like anything else. The first time you bake some motherfucking cookies, they probably came out fucked up. Right? So after I baked them motherfucking 60 times, I got a perfect batch of cookies.
Okay.
Over and over and over and over and over.
You have to embody yourself on what you want your life to look like. So if you want to be a business person, you can't get up and throw on jeans every day and a t-shirt thinking
you gotta look the part.
You have to look the part. You have to feel the part. You have to be the part.
Because how you gonna walk up to somebody talking about you businessman this, businessman that? You don't got a pen and paper. You don't got a business card. You don't got a business, a number for them to contact. You ain't got shit, but you saying businessman.
That's a good point.
You also have to be around people that are like-minded of what you want in your life. Okay. If they're in the gutter, mama always said, you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas.
Right.
You live in the gutter, you're gonna be the gutter. Okay.
That's kind of where that honesty piece comes back in, though, because I think we have to be honest enough with ourselves to stop every now and again and evaluate our circle and ask ourselves if our circle truly reflects the individual that we perceive ourselves to be. And if the answer is no, motherfucking snip. You got to be willing to keep everything hanging on a string so you can cut that shit out if need be. You know?
If your circle isn't empowering you, then you have a cage. You don't have a circle. So. You know, that's the whole bottom line to that. So yeah, you definitely want to be mindful of the people that you
sure? I'm pretty sure there's one in there.
You know, you want to be around like-minded people. They may be able to provide you a tidbit on how to start your business plan, you know, or, you know, you don't want to be necessarily around people who never even had a thought that they could own a business, because they're not going to be feeding into you like someone else is who's already had that thought or who has a business. So even if you don't necessarily, if you're not where you need to go, does not mean that you can't associate yourself with people who are already there. You still want to rub paws with the right people to get you into that place, to help open that door.
But you also,
it's not just about opening the door.
I said, you guys shot it down before about positivity, though. But you have to live a harmonious life. You have to have the natural laws are given. You have to, with the physical evidence, you got to be in tune with a
higher power,
a positive structure that doesn't allow the negative energy to get into your space. So you have to sleep in peace.
I don't,
You know,
I don't need no higher power. I'm all right.
you got to go to bed with peace. You wake up with peace. If you go to bed with destruction, you're going to wake up with destruction. Okay. You have to realign.
Well, that's
the
why it's
physical
important when
universe.
you end your days, you should be ending your day with pretty much everything complete that you wanted to do in that day. That way you're not saying, okay, I'm gonna do this and this, this and today. And every day at the end of the day, you got 5 things on the list that you got to do the next day because you didn't get around to them that day.
Well, that's why you have to set realistic goals, which is for
Right.
your day. You know, don't overwhelm yourself, because it's not just a point of knocking down tasks. You got to be able to take in, feel the process of going through those tasks, because everything you do is a part of the journey. I don't give a damn if it's something as small as, oh, I had to go pick this up so I can carry out the next task. That going to pick up that one little insignificant thing is still a part of the journey. So if you overwhelm yourself and you're inundated with tasks, and you don't give yourself the opportunity to really appreciate the experience. Don't be, set realistic goals for the day, and that way you can go to bed, you can lay your head at night with a sense of accomplishment.
You have to receive the perfect plan, because your subconscious mind is rational, okay, and the subconscious mind is creative, and it has initiative, and it's out there, and it will allow you to create and inspire the perfect plan, okay, and then you'll be able to live harmoniously. You'll be able to sleep in peace. You'll be able to make happiness a habit. You'll be able to claim a better future for yourself. You'll be able to heal from within so that it shows outwardly, and then you'll be able to attract the type of life that you want. You'll be able to succeed because you don't have anything else that's stopping you. You have to quit saying or quit letting that energy stop you, because that's what it's doing. Is basically, it's like that negativity is like water. Be like Bruce Lee used to say, be like water. Okay, be like water. Water moves and flows freely. Okay, when you give a negative energy power, it's like water. Nothing can stop water. Okay, nothing can stop water. So when you start giving, and when you start having a negative or being with negative, it's and it builds and it builds and it builds, and then if you allow it, it takes over. So we have to water. Like water.
Okay. The comment down there, I think, is an important part too. Losing is part of the journey.
Muhammad Ali lost.
Yeah, I think so. I had some things that happened last year, career-wise, where certain doors closed. At that very moment of closure, it seemed like, what the, like it was awful, right? But immediately new doors opened with bigger and better experiences came. So we have to remember that just because something happens and we consider it a loss, sometimes when you lose, you really win. You know what I mean? It's protection and redirection. You got to understand that.
Like I said, they stripped Muhammad Ali of his title and tried to put him in prison. If that's not fucking losing, I don't know what is. And he overcame that shit, and he focused, and he did what he had to do, and he stuck to his guns and fought the battle that he thought was worth fighting and all that shit. And at the end of the day, he got that fucking title back, and he got back on top at the end of the day.
You also have to forgive yourself for any errors that you've done in your life. You can't continue to beat yourself up. All that. Forgive yourself. Be thankful for who you are right now, that you're able to learn.
Or know when you make a choice that either you standing on it or you ain't, or you gonna fold.
That's kind of what I was thinking. There's not even really a need for forgiveness if you're accepting and embracing that every aspect of your existence is a part of the journey. Why do I need to forgive myself for going through my journey?
Right.
Hey, I'm sorry. Somebody said, hey, you know what? I want to invest in a record label, man. And, you look like somebody who's on a good journey. Hey, man, I'll take that $50K.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
might not get that
Yeah.
shit back.
They kind of rocking in the comments. I'm gonna give each one of these a little airplay because I wasn't paying attention, but it's kind of lit in the chat right now. So Denzel Washington said at a commencement ceremony, "Don't confuse movement with progress because you can run in place and not get anything done." I think that goes into when we was talking about having a reasonable amount of goals set, because you can overwhelm yourself and you kicking your feet, but that don't mean you getting anything taken care of. That don't mean you're
Correct.
forward, So
Correct.
yeah, don't mistake or confuse movement with progress.
This one too, I wanted to elaborate on this one.
Okay.
Delayed. This is something that I have to deal with. I've had to deal with over and over and over with in my life. I have been delayed like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it's if I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if I'm 65 years old before I make my first million, it's my first motherfucking million.
Right.
I'm not finna listen to these dumbass motherfuckers talking about you too old to be rich, you too old to be happy, you too old to, man, fuck yourself. and look, fuck your youth too.
Yeah.
Fuck your youth too.
I mean, time goes by fast. I mean, it doesn't seem like a long time ago that we were just young and vibrant and out there doing our things. Like all of us were out there living our best authentic lives. You know what I mean? And we thought it was going to last forever. Now we're older and we're still chasing our dreams, though, And so I think the bottom line is to never give up on yourself. The topic is self. And so never give up on yourself.
Yeah, and who's to say this podcast will ever gain traction? But one thing's for sure, we gonna find the fuck out.
Right.
Okay, I wasn't ready. My bad. Do you see?
Get it together.
In the comments.
Read it.
Why you getting no Morgan Freeman like that?
He said at 89. That's a goddamn. But the nigga was old. He was on Sesame.
He was never young as long as I've been looking at
the end of the day, at the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, has Morgan Freeman had a good life?
Absolutely.
He has had a good career. He has definitely had a good career.
That nigga started this shit at 89.
It's never, if you're living and breathing, then it's never too late. Okay?
But no, I put this one up here because I agree with that as well. As alchemists, we determine if the power of a loss is really a win. And when we're talking about being self-aware and alignment, aligning ourselves with certain energies, what we're really talking about is inner alchemy, spiritual alchemy. So the term alchemist, it triggered me a little bit there. But yeah, we decide whether or not this particular hiccup that might be referred to as a loss is really a win. Because if I had to fall down and scrape my elbows up in order to see, oh, look at that right there, this is what I was looking for, and on the way back up, I'm able to, you see what I'm saying? It hurt. I got some scars from it, but it ain't no way in hell that was a loss.
No.
You know what I mean? It was.
I gained a lesson from
the journey,
if I took something out of it, it was a lesson. It wasn't a loss. You know what I mean? It was redirection, and it makes you stronger for whatever your next route is. You know,
losing is in the eye of the beholder. We'll say that.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But also, putting your creations in the atmosphere and speaking them also silences. Silence it stops your spiritual direction. Sometimes you just have to keep what you're thinking and feeling inside, because that gives it energy. Then when it allows your it hits on your endorphins. It makes
I know I inspire people, so I don't be like, it's really about timing and understanding, you know what, now is the time. For me, I know that it comes down to that, to just knowing and seizing that fucking moment when it comes. And that's just in many aspects, like I say it all the time. I'm like that nigga Jeezy. I done forgot more shit than most motherfuckers ever learned.
I've learned, right? I mean, you got to know that. Sometimes it's gonna be like that,
it says, don't waste energy on speaking. Keep your words inwards. Silence the stream into motion. And the inertia of matter and manifest your desires. Okay. You have to, I got so much stuff wrote down. I just, my mind is moving 100 miles and running with all my stuff, but I really need to just sit down and get all my notes in order so that
it's day one. It's day one. We all right.
Exactly.
If it's day 25, it's still all right because
one of the key things that was said, the key thing that was said is, we can write as many notes as we want to. We can read as many affirmations as we want to, but if we don't apply these things to our actual day-to-day life, then it's no good. So, maybe, the first step is just how to apply even the first rule of thumb to your day-to-day life.
And that's why they say baby steps.
Right.
This is the reason why that is known to us, because it's really about baby motherfucking steps. If I'm just going to say, you know what, every morning I'm going to get up and do 50 push-ups and 50 squats. That's the beginning of the discipline that's going to take me into writing a novel or whatever the fuck.
Okay, and so I think that we have a key word that you just used right there, discipline. I think discipline is important when we evaluate ourselves and we do find out what we're doing wrong. We have to be disciplined on how to make that correction in our life. We have to apply discipline. Discipline is going to be the requirement. It's necessary to the growth.
Right. And so I read something. I might even been listening to a podcast. I'll be on my little stoic principles type shit. But anyway, it was talking about discipline, and it was saying that discipline is not just about commitment or consistency, but that discipline is an all-out act of violence on your insecurities and your excuses.
Real shit. Real shit.
That's what discipline is like,
and that's where I'm at, homie. Anything that's not consistent or having some discipline or some rhyme or reason to it, I'll be irritated as fuck with it. Because I don't got time. Like I said, we don't even tomorrow ain't fucking promised, for one. So you know what I'm saying? So every day that you're not realizing every day that you're not where you can be at, because that's what I'm gonna say. I know. It's not even a matter of question about where a nigga belong. It's getting there.
Every time you argue with someone who doesn't know who you are, you're casting your pearls. What is this? Swine before your pearls before swine.
But that's what Eddie Murphy was saying when he said he used to tell everybody he was going to be famous, and they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" And he'd be, they'd say, he knew he didn't give a fuck what nobody else was talking about, and Nipsey and everybody else who was famous had that same exact mentality. They didn't give a fuck what nobody had to say. I don't give a fuck if you don't think I'm the best at doing this, or if my books are any good, or if my poems are any good, or if I'm a good comedian, or whatever the fuck it is I'm doing. I don't care if you like it or not.
So I think we have a question for opinions. We have a question, and she's asking for advice on this. I struggle with consistency when it comes to discipline. Any advice on how to remain consistent with the things we're disciplining ourselves? And that's a good one, because I struggle with that at times as well.
I feel like if you want to get consistency, you have to create almost a need for the shit that you're trying to discipline yourself to do. You got to feel a need, man. Fuck that. I got to write this poem today because I need 35 poems by March, or I got to do this today because I need this to be this way by this. You know what I'm saying? You just can't take no for an answer.
You should look at it as it's a natural part of your existence. Like, nobody's gonna be like, I gotta take a shit, but you know what? I'm not gonna be consistent with taking a shit today. You're gonna get up and you're gonna follow that urge. You're gonna go take a shit. When you get hungry, you're gonna go get you something to eat. You have to look at the things that you're pursuing in that manner. It is absolutely necessary. There is no choice on this. So again, when we talk about discipline being an act of violence on your insecurities and your excuses, look at them excuses and insecurities as a motherfucker who just broke into your house and they're trying to tear down the structure that you're building for your future. You gonna fuck their face up, ain't you?
Right.
So
Right.
you gotta treat your excuses and your insecurities with the same level of aggression.
Wow.
Don't go
And
ask
it's
If you
you
want-
said
if
clock
you-
that.
If you
Go
think
ahead.
differently, you must also act differently. You know, refusing to complain, panic, freeze, analyze, and leverage and get leverage points. You have to strategically think of and find the crack of the problem and separate it to the core, which will be painful. But then that's what you use your pain as for power. And pain is my compass pointing to where I must grow. Problems you fear the most is the problem that will transform you the most. Okay. If you ignore it, nothing changes and everything stays the same. You must face it and also face it and rise. Okay. Every problem allows you to rise if you face it and act on it. Okay. You can't.
Right. Well, I mean, if you get fucking cancer and terminal cancer, you're just out of
No,
there.
it's with anything. You have to whatever the if you see
What's within
if you see
reason?
the glass is cracked, then you're gonna go and do something to prevent it from being cracked. Okay.
Right.
That's
No,
that's-
all I'm saying is
that's
what's
an
within reason. What's within reason. We're not fucking supernatural and shit, but you know.
you got to step into your space of greatness and being great. Okay.
These
And
glasses
growth.
on, this shit crazy.
This is the way you overcome everything.
So are we reading this on the bottom that somebody posted?
Yeah. What's up, Auntie D? We see you.
Hey, Auntie D.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I think this ties into something we talked about in our earlier meeting this week. So that's why I wanted to put this one up here, because I think it brings us right into the point of, well, I'll read it first, then I'll say what I'm thinking. But so if one person's version of positivity is perceived as negativity to someone else, does the positive outweigh the negative, or is there now a void? I would say that there's neither. And the reason why I say that is because life is a individual trek. So like they had the little commercial back in the day where it was a dude he played the quarterback or whatever, and he was making his own moves on the team, and the newscaster afterward was like, you know, hey man, this, that, and the other, and the guy was saying, oh well, I had to do, and the newscaster say, hey man, there ain't no I in team, and he looked up at the newscaster, said it ain't no we either. The point I'm making is that our journey is an individual journey. So if I said it's positive, fuck what you think.
Right.
And we have to be that dug in on the I, because I am the creator and the controller of my reality. How you think what about my reality just means that you ain't in tune enough with your own. You should be minding your own goddamn business.
So here's to elaborate further on what you're saying. This is how I be looking at it. So the Wright brothers, I had read on them one time, right? And how they were trying to invent something that fly and plane or whatever you want to call it. So their family members and their sisters and all them used to laugh hysterically at them like these are the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. But guess what? Them niggas kept digging. Them niggas kept going, and now every motherfucker on the goddamn planet trying to jump their bitch ass on a plane and fly somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the moral of the story.
That's kind of what it looks like when you have arrived at a place of true self-awareness. I, as an individual,
understand that this is possible.
Understand that this is going to happen for me, and it's possible. And it just so happens that this individual next to me shares the same conviction. But at the end of the day, they was both on a singular journey. We can come together if our minds are aligned on the same purpose or the same reason or whatever. We can come together. But at the end of the day, you came here alone, you're going to leave alone. You know what I mean? And everything you think, everything you see, you're only experiencing it from your own perspective. And if you have enough, what's the word? If you respect and honor your own position enough, you'll never give a shit what somebody else thinks. Because it's like, fucker, you ain't doing this. I am.
Right.
This is me. This
And
is who I
9
am.
times out of 10, the people who are criticizing you are people who couldn't even do the things you're trying to achieve.
Well,
Not only that, they Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder. Not to take no shots at them, but they ain't had no vision. They can't see.
Right. Well, that's what was in the chat. It said, before you scrutinize my positivity, display your own.
Real shit.
It's simple. It's simple.
Real shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a thin line, man. When it comes to building yourself, it's just like he said, and the reason why he said it the way he said it is to try to make it understandable for everybody, man. This is a personal journey. Life is all like, God damn, bro. When I die, it ain't finna be 6 niggas in the box with me.
Right.
Right.
Shit. This is not a we program. Yes, we're siblings, but that doesn't mean that we have to assist each other in every facet of our lives.
Right.
Right.
It's like what Tavon said. Now, okay, Maisha's doing this. That aligns with what I was talking about doing. Let me call sis and tell her, hey, you know what? We could probably get there a little faster if we put our heads together on this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
But the journey from your perspective will still look different than it does from mine. And that's
Correct.
the beauty in collective efforts.
I love it.
It may appear that it's one thing, but you got avenues. You could sit down with all 4 of us and be like, the story,
we're all different motherfuckers.
The experience is going to be completely different.
Yeah, we're all different motherfuckers. We're siblings, but
we
different.
all have our own strengths. That's the thing. We all have our own strengths. We all bring a key component we each individually bring something to the plate that makes it mesh so well together. You know what I mean? There's so many different perspectives amongst us, just us 4.
Right, but we keep it real with each other, though. Yeah,
right.
we forced to keep it real with each other because we understand we can't gain any strength at all if we're weakening each other with bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, it's important. And like we bounce all this shit off each other before it ever comes to this, before it ever came to the podcast. It's just like I said, we all had collective minds and we met each other halfway, 50% or whatever, and we understood, you know what? This is purposeful to us and meaningful to us. Let's start a podcast and see if we can inspire some other motherfuckers.
Right.
Okay.
And like I said, I know I'm not refined, but this is 2026 and I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean,
I feel you on that because that goes back to somebody's version of positivity,
Right.
In reality, some time ago, some influential individual said, that's a bad word. And the rest of the world just jumped on his dick and ran with it. Who is he to determine what word is bad? Fuck.
And who the fuck said weed should be illegal? Who the fuck said it?
You understand what I'm saying?
Anyways,
I like what Woon said. He said, before you scrutinize my positivity, display your own positivity. Okay. And I agree with that.
We said that if you would have.
So since Woon is tapped in, hey, Woon, man, give me a call, bro.
But I also put in, what makes you feel alive and authentic, was it forced or is it authentic? And then if it's an authentic feeling, then that's what you go on and you continue to strive on. You have to analyze your data, your emotions.
But you dictate whether it's authentic or not, because you can bullshit yourself too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's part of the whole shit we're talking about being self-aware, because part of self-awareness is analyzing your own emotions, your own triggers, how things and people around you affect you emotionally, what impact they have on your nervous system. All of that shit. You could be laid up with somebody swearing you in love with them, and all it is their energy gives you something to your nervous system that you can't resist. But at the end of the day, you don't even
might not be good for you.
Right.
It might not be good for you. Because you might have had a trauma or
the whole time driving over there, you was like, I don't even know why I'm going over here to be with this mother.
You might be addicted to the bad behavior, so they feed into that bad behavior.
Yeah, so by analyzing yourself and keeping it real with how you respond to things emotionally, and also acknowledging and adhering to those gut feelings. You know what I
That's
mean?
the key right there.
Because that's your human nature telling you
That's your
yes or
intuition.
Or
no
no.
to something. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? When you have those gut feelings, you are as close to divinity as a human being that hasn't went through the process anyway. You're as
That's
close
right.
to divinity as you could possibly be. You
Yes.
are in tune with the universe when you have a gut feeling. You better honor
It's
that
called
shit.
discernment.
And
Use
see,
it.
when I
you
was
better
young,
honor that shit.
when I was young, I struggled with honoring that shit, and now I don't. It's
You
like,
see, I was always a professional with it. His nose knows.
right. Now my nose knows like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And like you said earlier, I won't be around certain type of shit if I feel like it doesn't align with who I am. There's no fucking way I'm going to be involved with it.
And it'd be little small stuff, because, and I even said this in a conversation before. I don't think we was on a podcast, but just in a conversation, that there are times where somebody might be worthy because of their behavior. It might even be justifiable in the eyes of witnesses if I said, hey, look, bitch. But then on the inside, I still be feeling like I'm a better man than to have to use that word to somebody in order to get my point across. You know what I mean? So I recently had put a post up on Instagram saying that going forward,
Respect
I'm not
women.
using that word toward any women. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it doesn't reflect who I am. I
It
can't
really
sit there and
doesn't.
act
Yeah.
like I got some level of intellect and I'm a wordsmith and all of that. And as soon as something triggers me, I revert to the programmed response.
Right. You revert to your default settings.
It's the programmed response. I got to do better than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I seen your post. I didn't elaborate really on it or nothing like that, but I go through that because I sound like one of them pimps or something. I'll say bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'll be really tripping and shit. So
what's Too Short doing here? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'll be tripping. And that's like you said, it's the program response. It's not really what I would say. It's
Exactly.
simple. It's pressing easy button on it. So, you know what? Bitch.
Exactly.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Stupid ass, or
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, so that's and that's on all things. That's not even calling somebody a bitch, calling somebody a motherfucker, saying somebody's retarded, stupid, ugly. Any of those type of things are basically the program responses that will add fuel to the situation, most likely.
Yeah.
Got to have these.
All right,
The whole
cousin.
thing
We
is
see
you
you.
have to
We see
break
you
bad
pop
habits.
in.
You have to break bad habits. The infinite intelligence leads and guides and directs me in all ways. And now now that you have went inward, you will get the solutions that will help you to break those bad habits. Once you realize what the bad habits are, now it's time to correcting the bad habit. Like I said earlier, course correction. You have to dig deep.
I'll be right back, you guys.
Yeah, you'll be able to find peace and the calmness, forgive those and forgive yourself. Peace, health, and wealth all will become next. It's just to have confidence. You gain supreme. Wait a minute. Never mind. I lost all I was about to say. Get over my head. I'm working every day.
I think it's great that you have all the notes that you have, because you can reread that over and over and over again.
You're rereading it every day.
One of the very first things Dees and Valley had said that I think is good too is that I am the affirmation. So let's try to be mindful moving forward that we are the affirmation. It is good to have all these tools and all these instruments, but remember that what's coming from inside of you, your authentic self, has these tools as well. You have this knowledge, you have this gift. So tap into that as well. Your mind is able to create positivity as well.
Absolutely. we're all fired by the same source energy. So
Yeah.
whatever individual made those affirmations public, he drew from the same source that fired every living soul. So that
Yeah.
means it's in you. That's why I
Yeah.
said those outside affirmations sometimes are just reminders. It's
Yes.
not our purpose to find ourselves. It's our purpose to remember ourselves, because
and to
if
know
we really
ourselves.
look at ourselves as universal divine beings.
Right.
It's in the genetic code. It's in there
Right.
already. We just
And
gotta-
how
But
can
that's
we
what
not
it's
know?
underneath
And
the
here's the
name.
thing: how
Power.
can we not know we're divine though?
Yeah,
Our existence is a miracle in its motherfucking self.
absolutely,
Correct.
absolutely.
Correct.
But the laws of attraction are real, and so if you align yourself with what you truly want, then it will come to you automatically, because that's the laws of attraction. You know, if you align yourself with the things that you want in life, you will get what you want in life, and it's not going
Absolutely.
to happen overnight.
I mean, but even if you don't, here's the thing. So you got people like, this is why what
Ooh,
Nipsey said was so important, right?
Ooh.
When he said that you know, he didn't have any distinguishing qualities, and if he did, it would have been the fact that he didn't give up. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And it never stopped. And so even with that, you know what I'm saying, you may never, like, if I set out to be a doctor, I might not, I might only make it to nurse practitioner, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like
I love that.
I'm tripping off of this right here. I just think
Yeah, I love that.
part
I
right
love
there.
that. I had to
You
get
know,
that quick.
you are the one who covered yourself, and I agree with that, because if you think about what we were talking about earlier about different life experiences that pulled us away from that inner child. Okay, so it's not really the life experiences that pulled us away. It was
Mhm.
our response to those experiences. So at the end of the day, we still did the covering.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's dope right there.
Yeah. You might have covered up a side of you that allowed you to feel any emotion. You know what I mean?
Right,
So yeah,
right.
yeah, that's deep.
And that's why you can't get too caught up in the ways of the world in your journeys, that whatever journey you're in, you're going to get told no. You're going to get told that you're no good at it if it's something, you know, or, you know, you got, you know, you just don't want to be the type of person who has it in them, because you got those guys, for instance, that can play basketball better than Michael Jordan, who never set foot in the NBA court. You get what I'm saying? And it was because maybe the academic part, they refused to grasp their grades and get their grades right so they could play. They refused to not get in trouble off the field, or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? They wound up, even though they were better, more talented, more equipped, and all these things, they still never made it.
Because they were less focused.
And less disciplined.
Yeah,
Let's face it, no matter
yeah.
what. I don't even really like Lil Wayne, but let's be real. He grinded to get where he got.
Oh, absolutely. He deserves every bit of success that he has, because he put it in gear and he didn't take his foot off the pedal. I mean,
Yeah, because every day you have a opportunity to grow. Every day is an opportunity to grow. You expand and you progress. That's why I said every day is a step. If you do what you want, if you find the plan, first you go inward, find the problems that have stopped you from being who you're supposed to naturally be. Start to correct those problems, and then follow through and align yourself with the person that you want to be.
Let me grab my glasses. I must have been seeing things.
I'm going in.
Real briefly, I'm gonna go ahead and shout out some people, because for whatever reason the Facebook comments ain't popping up. We're only getting people from YouTube. So shout out to Lalo, Kaylani, the homie Spade. We see all y'all. Appreciate you for tapping in. We're gonna get it dialed in next week, so we can have the Facebook comments on here too, so everybody can participate.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be
Mhm.
I
good.
appreciate everybody who chatted with us too. You know,
Absolutely. It feels good to be back in the seat. You know what I mean? I'm glad we made the decision to come back and bring it back around. You know,
Mhm.
it means a lot, and it's not easy to get us all four on the same page sometimes. You know what I
No,
mean? Because
because
we
to
are
tell the
so
truth,
opinionated.
yeah, to tell the truth, I didn't even want to do it this time around. To tell the truth, I'm just here because
Yeah.
I don't want to get cussed the fuck out.
Hey, just know that. Just know that.
well, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I feel the same way with people, but I know it's also gonna help build me because I'm on a different level than I was on before. I am 55 years old, and I should have been a millionaire at 25, but so I need to get into my millionaire mindset.
Well,
And so,
remember Morgan Freeman.
It ain't never too late. Yeah.
no, it's not.
Hey,
No, it's not.
if you pop at 56 years old, guess what it was?
Right.
Right on time.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
And that's just the way
So
you
look
gotta
at it
look
like
at
this. You said you was 55. So let's say in 10 years, you accomplish everything you were trying to accomplish, and you retire at 65 like you were gonna with a regular 9 to 5. How did you fucking lose?
Right.
You won by
You
three
get
strokes.
it.
And anything that is part of your path, it's always right on time. I am always right where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there.
People always say, "Well, I want this and I want that." You maybe when you get that, you don't even know what to do when you get it, or if you have it.
Right.
Can
Or you
maintain
might get it and lose it. Exactly.
Right.
And believe it or not, some people aren't sitting back saying they want to be rich or they want to be famous or they want to have a fucking Bentley or Aston Martin. Some people don't give a fuck about that shit.
I just want to be financially free. I want to be
Right.
able to wake up and do whatever the fuck I want to do with my time.
Because I'll tell you right now, I'll take the
trade my
Aston
time
Martin and
for a
drive
check.
that motherfucker till the engine blow up. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
about
I
that.
just think that you want to make sure above all and anything else, don't be spiritually broke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't be
That's
broke
why I said you
spiritually.
have to have a millionaire mindset. You have to. I'm getting my
We
millionaire.
know what that looks like though, because we see all these millionaires die in the street gutter just like a drug addict. You know what I'm saying?
It's nothing
Love your
wrong with
niche.
it's nothing wrong with having a millionaire mindset, but there's also nothing wrong with not having one.
Right. Right.
That's
I
the
don't
thing. Yeah.
necessarily mean a millionaire because I don't want for someone who has $1 million. It comes with a whole bunch of other shit that goes on that you have to be thinking about.
Yeah,
Like Vonnie said, I just want to be able to get up and do what I want to do when I get up. Okay, and be able
to experience life. You want to experience life, and if
Correct.
you're caught up in the hustle and bustle of shit,
if I want to
when
go,
are you gonna experience
a whole new
life?
wardrobe, I can go and do that. You know, whatever. Just want to live.
You always hear these
I want to
stories.
be able to go and take my grandbaby and go do this. My beautiful grandbaby. I love her
I'm
to
not
death.
doing it.
You know.
Look, if I just want to start a fire and throw a motherfucking whole pig on it, then so what? You know what I mean? Like it ain't got to be nothing extravagant. You know,
Right.
just do what I want to do. But I put this comment up here because I think it tied in with what we were talking about earlier. Really, it ties in with the whole conversation about self-awareness because we were talking about discovery. You were the one who covered yourself, and then after you covered yourself, who told you that you were naked? So that's, hey, you know what? Hey, slow down, Wawooni, because I know you're
one of the things that in the chat, if you are watching,
I'm sorry.
You are watching, make sure you like.
He called that
nigga Vonnie. Hold on.
Of course he would catch it. Of course he would catch it.
Look, so that who told you were naked is a reference to the situation with Adam and Eve in the Bible after they ate from the tree and they knew good from bad. So it's a symbol. It's symbolic of a self-awakening, becoming aware of self. And you remember what we talked about the other day about the Kundalini energy, which is symbolized by a serpent, just like the serpent in the Garden of the Eden. So that whole picture that was being painted was about the human being becoming self-aware and recognizing their own
Right.
divinity.
And I knew that when I first even heard that.
That's deep.
Mhm.
That's deep. That's deep.
Who told you you was naked?
Right.
You know, yeah.
Don't forget to take a moment to like in the live. If you're on the live, if you were on the live, just make sure you like it. Share the YouTube channel. We are trying to expand our viewers. So please, thank you for anybody who joined, anybody who commented. We see you. We appreciate you.
Feedback also.
And for D's and for Tucson, let me go back up. Let me try to find the comment. Hold on. It's from Shay. She said, you guys have had a lot to contribute to the conversation, so they're happy that we're back, that you guys are back. So for you two who didn't really want to come back, they said you contribute a lot to the conversation, so they're happy.
Thank you, Nisa.
Yeah, it's definitely good to be back, and I think we picked a great topic. Had a lot of interaction from the people in the comments, from the chat. So yeah, feeling it.
Well, this is all I'm on from here on out. Like Kasabi said, you know, niggas is not spraying chickens at this point in life, and there will be no spraying chicken activities going on either.
Mm-mm.
And it's an obstacle. That all that is a door for you to open to conquer that obstacle.
Still about to piss me off.
So
yeah. Any closing statements?
Motherfucker, we ain't done. No, I'm
We'll keep on talking then.
It's just about basically.
No, I don't know. I just think I don't like to say the word it should be, but I think it would be of good benefit for every living individual to make time every day to deepen their awareness of self and just see the benefit that it has on their daily life, you know. Yeah. Buy out the time, because of course we're busy. We got work, we got kids, we got grandkids, we got our own little individual ventures and journeys that we're on, but none of that can become more important than the journey of self.
Yes, and growth happens when you stay strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the journey, it sounds selfish. Well, the way some people are implementing it, they're just saying my truth and all that. That's not the same as self-awareness. Let's not confuse it and say that that's the same as self-awareness, because my truth is saying that you don't give a fuck what's really true. I'm just gonna stick with what I believe.
Right, because there's your truth and then there's absolute truth, and we have to be sharp enough to understand the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about believing in untruth or yeah, you can have your truths, you know what I'm saying, things that you are, you know, through your experiences. If like, say for instance, every time you parked at a certain parking garage, your car got broke into, in your mind that car parking garage is full of shit and they're in on it and they're probably the ones staging these car break-ins or what, you know what I'm saying, it just is not going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
The way you feel about that shit, you like,
opportunity is worthless without execution. Thoughts are movement without vision. Vision is action without movement. You have to, if you don't do it, then you're just hallucinating and you're living in a fantasy if you don't act on your thoughts. Okay.
So that being said, this is 2026. All of us have some sort of adventure we're on, or journey we're on. And from here going out, we're in the crunch time phase. We're in the, you know, this is the victory lap, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
This is all we got at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta get my cardio together.
Yeah.
I work on that all the time. I can sprint again now.
Well, you know, one of my biggest things, pet peeve that I truly am trying to focus on is instead of continuing to build the empire for the company that I work for, I got to realize how to build my own and feed into mine. So after working 8, 10, 11 hours, maybe, doesn't mean that I get to come home and go right to sleep or lay down. I have to spend some kind of hours on my own personal stuff. Like if I really want to get this book out, I can't be mad. Like if I have to work for 10 hours over here for this job to get this income, now I still got to come back and work on what I'm trying to do for myself. If I'm trying to buy a home, I still need to be working on the things that I'm trying to do to buy this home, to buy this land, to do these things that I need. I can't be tired. There's no time to be tired.
Fuck no, you sleep when you die.
That's why I always say I'll sleep when I'm dead. You know, I'll be tired.
And realistically, that's how you're supposed to look at it. That's when it's down. That's when it's over. That's when it's time to. That's when it's win.
But you do have to give yourself sleep. Sleep is
no. You do have to give yourself, because sleep is important to you being in your best mindset when you go into the day. So you
we're not talking about being insomniacs.
No.
We're just talking about not romanticizing with the idea of sleep. That's all I mean.
And you don't want to work yourself to death. So of course you need sleep.
Yeah. But you know, so that's the biggest thing is for me is trying to make sure that I carve out this personal time to open this laptop for me, not open this laptop to check emails, to send emails, to do work related stuff. I got to open this laptop and be working on my own personal projects. And
that's the realistic where realistic goals come in. 1 page a day. That's not unrealistic.
Yeah, you know? I'm just gonna be thinking about this discipline is violence to insecurities.
50% of this podcast are business owners.
Yeah.
Or have owned.
You hear that? You hear that, Savage?
Say it again.
50% of this podcast right here, this panel, has either owned a business or is a business owner. So like, even though
so that doesn't include us, sister.
So even though a nigga didn't make $1 million or a nigga ain't whatever, at the end of the day, the next go around is gonna be way easier than this one was.
Right. Well, because you've done it already. You've experienced that aspect of your journey, or currently experiencing, whatever applies. You know what I mean? But it's another aspect of your journey that you now have experience with. You know, so yeah. And again,
grind behind your goals.
You can't lose. It's either you win or you learn. And as long as you adopt
exactly,
it's all good.
Yeah. No, nothing comes quicker but a dream. Got to put some grind in behind your goals, and that's just the whole thing. You got to put some grind in behind your goals, and the goal isn't going to work. You know what I mean? The goal is your personal goal. So work is just what you got to do.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
And then you also have to realize that some people don't want to see you with what you want to see yourself with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's how you deal with that. You know. Bow. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how you choose your circle. You'll know somebody that's in your corner and on your side when they say things to you that show that they have your best interest at heart. Because somebody who doesn't give a fuck, they'll never say things that show that they have your best interest at heart.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Right.
Like if say for instance, I go to Burger King every day, right? And I go order 2 double Whoppers and 2 orders of fries and a milkshake. And I do this every day for 5 years and I get up to 450 pounds. The people who don't give a fuck about me aren't going to say anything. They're not going to say anything. Hey, man, what have you been doing? Boy, you getting big as hell, boy. You better stop going to Burger King. That's what the real motherfuckers are going to say to me. The fake motherfuckers, they're going to act like they don't even see the fact that I'm killing myself.
Or maybe they're not acting. They just don't give a damn.
Or they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So JB's world said, I do what I have to do so that I can do what I want to do. And when you were talking about going to work and then carving out the time to do your other shit, man, this job is really playing the financier to my goals and my dreams. Like,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I might come to work and drive this truck and run these loads, but them loads getting delivered is a byproduct of me getting paid. It's not the other way around.
Yeah.
That's my mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had just said this earlier too, because I was tripping like how everybody tries to get a nigga Rick Ross a bad time, saying, "Oh, he was a CEO, so he can't be a street nigga, or he can't have sold dope if he was a CEO." What the fuck do you mean he couldn't have sold dope if he was a CEO?
I know plenty of CEOs that are in the inside.
Do you know what CEOs do?
Okay, no, not even that. So that's just like saying a nigga can't use cocaine if he's a stockbroker.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
it's stupid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for
But
sure.
you know, I'm gonna say this from this point on, all I'm gonna do is consume my mental consumption is with ideas, thoughts, healing myself, blessing myself, working towards my strengthening myself, so I can take the avenues to get what I want from this point on. So I have to constantly just.
You got it though, sis. I don't know what the disconnect is. You already have done the work. You have the art. You got art all over the place. You already did the shit.
You just gotta put it in motion.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. You know, and I'm not trying to downplay anything that you might contend with internally, but I would just suggest taking the approach that I take. I am healed. Because if I don't believe it, it won't be the truth.
Right.
And the thing about believing in yourself that's different than believing in some external entity is that you can use your own life to provide yourself with proof that your belief was substantiated in something real. When you believe in outside shit, ain't no proof ever coming. I can provide the proof of my own belief if I believe in myself.
And that's where all this manifestation shit is coming from, and all these things, buzzwords that everybody's using now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As the person imagines, so that she becomes. Okay.
Well, it goes down to what he was saying. You have to believe you've arrived. You're not waiting.
Right.
You don't pull up and they say, "Hey, did I arrive, guys?"
Right. Yes, you can validate some other motherfuckers. Man. Right.
No.
You pull up to that motherfucker like, "Look at this, nigga."
So
I'm
Ben
here.
Pretty said healing is a never-ending journey. And
Yes.
this is one of those things where I have to have a dualistic mindset, because I agree with the power that's what she's saying. But the way I look at it is today, because this is the only time that matters is right now.
Right.
And if we was having this conversation yesterday, guess what it would have been? Right now. If we have it again tomorrow, right now. So right now, I'm healed. I only got to be healed for 24 hours a day. And
Eternal feeling is right.
because I get sleep, because I get sleep, I really only got to be healed for about 18, 17 hours a day. That's easy. I'll worry about that other shit tomorrow. I'm not living on no borrowed anxiety. Today, right now, I'm healed.
Right.
Say it ain't so.
And that's been hard. That's been hard for me because, like, you guys know, I won't put it all out there, but you know, like, I got situations that's hard to forget about, hard to let go of, that's hard to overlook. You know,
that's where the never ending part comes in. That's why I said I have a dualistic mindset. It's never ending because I have to repeat this affirmation to myself again tomorrow.
That's
But
what
I have to believe it from my gut today.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
I want to thank all of my children that came into the chat today and that came in and joined the live. And
Great
they
support.
added, they are.
We had 10 viewers at one time.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We did.
So I think that's our highest.
No, we've been
we
over
might
that.
have
We've been over that before. Most
And
certainly.
should our Facebook have been working correctly today?
It would have been more. Yeah.
So that'll definitely be something.
Because they was all in the comments. It just wasn't showing in here. And when I opened my phone up, I was like, damn, we missing people. Yeah.
I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. It is my right to be rich, happy, and successful, successful in spirit. Money flows to me freely and endlessly. I am forever conscious of my true worth. I give of my talents freely, and I am willingly, truthfully blessed financially, and I am wonderful.
Yeah, you know why that's important, because you can have, like, say for instance, you got $1 million tomorrow, and you went to fucking some Roof Chris or some goddamn where and bought a bunch of the expensive food. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It tastes exactly the same if you was broke.
Right.
So that's really nothing. Having some material shit or something of that nature, it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that having the internal wealth and all that shit is important, because the rest of the shit, you can't take that shit with you. You know, you might not be able to take the internal wealth with you either, but at least while you're still here, you'll be you know what I'm saying?
Right, which is why, like I said, I don't walk around here spiritually broke. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean?
You could be wounded. You could be wounded, but you can't be broke.
No, and that's the thing. And I think part of that just means you care about yourself, you care about others, you live a life in accordance, morally correct,
Okay, so you remember they used to be talking about, we used to be reading that shit when we was young about the Native Americans going on walkabouts to find manhood and to grow up, to actually mature. They would
rite of passage.
Rite of passage, yeah, that's what it was, rite of passage or whatever. And they'll go on this little journey all by themselves to figure shit out and problem solve all by themselves.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is important, man. People have to go on walkabouts even now.
I don't know what the hell happened with my camera.
Damn.
But y'all can still hear me, so yeah.
We can't hear you.
I'm in the background somewhere.
Floating in the abyss.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this up since we still. Khalil Willis said, "A man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor."
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is a work of art.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't get caught up in, like, the way of the world and shit, where they're saying basically you got to look this way, be this tall, have this type of shaped face, and all this whole weird shit they're trying to tell people to put you outside of the norms of humanity type shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looks different. Everybody's different heights. Everybody has different skin complexions. We're all fucking different. Anybody who's running around here commenting, hey, you're different, so that means you're less. Hey, you're different, so that means you're inferior. Hey, you're different, so you couldn't possibly be what I am. It's bullshit.
That's egotism is what it is. People put too much. I'm glad you said that, because I think we'd be amiss if we did not mention this as we're talking about self-awareness. Self-awareness is not a license or a badge to use to justify egotism. You should think only enough of yourself to what's necessary for you to carry out your fulfillments, your alignments with your goals, but not to the point that you have this egocentric viewpoint that I, me, my mind, and fuck everybody else.
Right.
That ain't it.
I think it's very, very important that you brought that up. Because the shit you was talking about, when people get to doing that, that's egotism. That is the complete opposite of self-awareness.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why, people get themselves in trouble, and they got people that hate them enough to come assassinate them and things like that. It's because of the egotism that they're speaking, that they are damaging somebody's emotions or making somebody feel some kind of way about themselves. You know what I'm saying?
But even with that said, though, and we had talked about this previously, though, whether it be if somebody makes you angry or if somebody makes you feel emotionally hurt, the only way they can do that is if you made your mind complicit to it. So you have to agree with it in order for it to happen. You're still in control. You understand what I'm saying? So we can't having the proper viewpoint or idea of self-awareness will prevent us from allowing other people's actions and or words to put us in a frame of mind that's out of alignment with who we proclaim to be.
Correct.
Shout out to Mike Wiggins, because he once said, that people will try to throw a label on you. And he said, my response to that shit is, I don't think I'm that, you do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is one of my pictures. Can you guys see this?
No, you can't.
You can't do it.
That ain't gonna work.
Bring it up like that.
So I don't know who this is, Mahabija. I don't know. I tried, my bad. But right here, the more self-aware you become, the more you become aware there is only one self.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. Thank you for sharing that comment, because that is very true. The more self-aware you become, the more you become aware there is only one self. Love it. Man,
okay, on that note,
teacher right now trying to read that name, just slaughtered that mother. We used to go through all the time,
Right. Forgive us.
Mahabija.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, but shout out to you. Yeah.
One of the things that Khalil had said too, he said the hardships and suffering are inevitable, but you have to be able to chisel off the negative and rise above it to add to your guys' point, to add to our last point. And so, we, the chiseling away of different things, that's part of being the marble and the sculptor. You know what I mean?
Right,
you have to be both. And then in chiseling something away, that is, it hurts. So that's where the suffering is. You know what I mean?
See, everybody underestimates the journey, and any journey you're on that's worthy of anything, it's going to get to a point where you feel like you're not going to be able to complete the journey. And you have to just know, you know what? I feel like I ain't going to complete this journey. But somehow I've completed journeys that were way more complicated than this already.
Well, and I think one of the things, and I don't have it verbatim as far as what Nip said, but he said he knew that he was on the right path because he allowed himself to feel every emotion. He felt like he wanted to quit. He felt like he wanted to keep going. He felt happy. He felt sad. He felt broke. He allowed himself to feel every emotion during the journey. So the journey is not always going to have you feeling sunshines and rainbows. Sometimes the journey is going to have you feeling like, oh, this hurts, but that's part of the journey.
Sometimes the journey is going to be challenging.
Yeah. That's why I said you turn the pain into power.
Exactly. So, and I know you are aware of this for sure, Deez. Anybody that's played sports or even, took part in exercise to a very rigorous degree, your mind will give out before your body does.
Absolutely.
And you have to challenge yourself to overcome that mental give out, that mental
mind over matter,
that mental breakdown, because the body will carry on. It's your mind that gives out first. And it's the same thing with the journey that you're on, regardless of what your endeavors are. Your mind will stall you out, even though you still have it within you to carry on. That's the battle that we have to contend with. It's this shit is 90% mental.
It is.
Yeah.
And is the other 10% when you're knocking out their dentals?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Then you get knocked out, knock their asses out.
Oh
There's
shit.
definitely some toothless motherfuckers out there.
Just testing out one of our newest we have right there.
Okay, well, I love y'all.
Love y'all too. I'm glad we made it back. We had a great show. And yeah, looking forward to doing this again.
The show will not be weekly like it was before. So we appreciate you guys joining us. Stay tuned for clips and posts that we will be posting for the date of the next show. But we are aiming for once a month, to at least do once a month, to come in and lace y'all with some game.
All right. So appreciate everybody in the chat that tapped in, that supported.
Yes, thank you.
All of that. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe at the YouTube page. And yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
we really need subscribers on the YouTube page. So I know sometimes it's a hassle to remember stuff like that, but can you guys please like and subscribe, because like it's important for us to have the dialogue being reciprocated through chats and through, because it kind of feeds the conversation in general.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to Four Corners.
We appreciate y'all.
Until the